Hello, adventure fans. Give me a minute. Close the door so that I'm not irritating my girlfriend and so that the dog has the pleasure of reopening it when he walks back in. There I am. There you are. How about that? Let me switch a few things around. We seem to be working. Very good. Sound levels are good. And it's a Sierra Saturday, and I still haven't updated that very elementary graphic I put together in 8 minutes. Is what it is. Barely have a plan for today, but I do have a plan, and I'll show you here in a minute. Let's see. Give people a chance to notice and give passing interest. Okay. Alex is on vacation. Caitlin might pop her head in here. And so I decided to go with something very light and airy and inconsequential. And we are going to play some early King's Quest I era edutainment games from Sierra's Disney license. Sierra, I don't know who they got it from, but Sierra had the Disney license around the time they did King's Quest I. And they got it because I believe another company was either having financial difficulties or went out of business, so they did not have to pay the upfront costs to make a licensing deal, which is probably the only reason they were able to do it. We have previously played the Black Cauldron, and today we're going to slow down a bit, and I'll show you what's going on. Because we are going to play some edutainment titles. All right. Here's my current installs on my Exodus collection. You'll see a lot of stuff that isn't for now. Although, actually, I see here that I had one of the early Tex Murphy games and an early Leisure Suit Larry ripoff. I played the first one in this two-part series, and it was bad. Just bad. But what we're looking at is actually Donald Duck's Playground, Mickey's Space Adventure, and I guess I did not install Winnie the Pooh, though to be honest, it looks like Mickey's Space Adventure, and I'm not that interested. This might actually, I don't know, this might actually be more like an interactive fiction, which was a request we had. So that's cool. But since these are probably not going to go too far, I got an unrelated interactive fiction upon request from one of our viewers called Fish. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? I think he's holding a seashell spliff. I'm not sure what's going on there. It's an interactive fiction with graphics, which is what was suggested by the viewer. And it's British, which means it's either going to be very good or very not good. We'll see. As we get into it, people come in. I will let people choose which version we're going to play because I have this on both the Exodus collection and on the Amiga game selector. Both have their strengths and weaknesses. Additionally, we have BC's Quest for Tires, another Sierra license that they actually did get directly. I only played this on a friend's computer on the Commodore 64 back in the day. So, besides Donald Duck's Playground, I really don't have much of a connection to these Sierra games this week. I never played Mickey's Space Adventure. I never played the Winnie the Pooh one, which we will not be playing today, I guess. Oh, and I forgot one I did own. Sierra Championship Boxing. I played the hell out of this back in the day. I've never heard anybody from Sierra talk about this because I suppose it was, 84. Same year King's Quest came out, so this is probably around the time that they were thinking they might go out of business because of the video game crash. Why don't we start with that? We'll dive right in. We got one viewer, probably a bot, I don't know. But if anybody needs the volume adjusted, I have it mixed low, but these are old DOS games. They're going to be a bit screechy. And I haven't played this or Donald Duck's Playground since I was a little kid, so... Did that crash? Yeah, that didn't boot up the first time. Happens occasionally with the Exodus collection. If you wish to use composite mode in this game, press F12. I'll try anything once. I'll try it a second time when it doesn't work the first time. Okay, any key, whatever. Oh no. We're in 4-color land, which is sometimes painful on the eyes. Center the sky. Lady, I don't... rude. Okay, sound is on, bell will ring, colors will alternate. This is a lot of options for 1984. Intro will play, scoring system, 10-point must. Round or 10-point must. Each round is 1 minute. Well, that's a good start. 10 rounds, arcade mode, or simulation. Arcade, simulation, or strategy. Let's start with arcade. Okay. And 11 is exit. Go to the gym. Oh, I remember this guy. Okay, make a new boxer, look at her, change a boxer, eliminate a boxer. Okay, character creation. Woo! I can't remember if there's real boxers in this. I kind of doubt it. Let's make a boxer. Can't add 60 boxers max. Okay. These must have been made by whoever uploaded this version. So we are going to delete a certain somebody. Number 18, Walcott. You're out of there. And we are going to make a new boxer. Name. Smooch. Okay, that's the character limit. Smoochum it is. Age. Slightly underage or classic. That's quite a range. I don't know. 25. Height. Okay. What is up, dude? Okay, so you've probably been the one viewer I've had. So are you familiar with Fish? Because that's our interactive fiction. You asked for it. Okay, so height in this game actually does affect your reach, or height and reach actually do affect the gameplay, as I recall. Weight. Ooh, man, 70 pounds or a tubbo. Let's see what happens if I choose 70 pounds. For doing education, we could do discovery math on Amiga. You were the one who had the idea for the interactive fiction. That was you. Or I'm crazy. Either one is possible. And I will do the maximum reach. How many professional fights has he had in age 25? 2. 2 losses. Times knocked out, 3. Damn it. I was hoping to bend reality. Okay, what is his best punch? Oh, did you specifically want to do Arthur in the Quest for Excalibur? Because Fish is also a text adventure with pictures. Yeah, that's Fish. We'll get to Fish. But I figured we should do some Sierra because it's Sierra Saturday. I don't think I'll take too much time on any of these, honestly. First, when does he begin to slow down? Middle. Yeah, it was by a company called Magnetic Scrolls, which I've heard of, and I've never played any of their games. How hard does he hit? Average. How often can he absorb a hard punch without showing a reaction? Let's just go with usually because I'm already handicapping him bad enough. How often is he cut or injured? 2. Wow, I don't remember all this. How soon in the fight is he best warmed up in fighting? Average. Go for the knockdown when his opponent is stunned. Always. Always. He's got that killer instinct. Does he hit his opponent when he throws a punch? Usually, boxer's aggressiveness. How often does he control the fight? Sometimes. Little challenge. Wow! How often can this boxer protect himself? Usually. Throw fast punches. Okay, yes. The 4 types of Americans that existed in 1984. I remember this. Black, white, cartoon, kangaroo. Yeah, this is not a story game. This is actually just a sports game. The cartoon character is great. I remember this. He's a little wimpy, scrawny guy, and I chose 70 pounds. I'm probably going to get my ass kicked. Yeah, automatically update the thing. Okay, jeez. Pick a number or D if I'm done. I don't want to have like a deep relationship with this game. I just want to play it a bit. Let me know if that is too loud. Dave Murray? Of the Murray Brothers. Interesting. Okay, cool. I have not modulated the volume that goes to my headphones, so I get the full effect. So if you see me pull these off, you know why. Select a boxer for the right corner. Dempsey, an actual boxer, perhaps. Got the weight advantage. Just has a weight advantage. Okay. Let me just play. 19. Go for arcade mode options. Okay, this is good. Am I playing this? Oh my god, this is weird. I don't remember this. Okay, so you can two-hand this, I guess. Yeah, like there's some overlap here, so I get it. Like I actually don't mind that F1 and F2 are step back and forward. That helps because those are sequential keys. Jab, uppercut, head punch, body punch. This is making less sense on my right hand. Duck. Oh, these keys are not good. 6 and 7 on the numpad are different. Screw it. My fighting style is slugger, D. All right. There we go. All right. Oh, my numpad is not working. Okay. I'm playing all with function keys. Okay. Okay. Got it. How do I get up? All right, tell you what, my career's over. Oh, woo! I think we're good. We got an EGA nightmare. All right. I was pretty good at that game when I was a kid. Those days are long behind me. Fate of Atlantis. Yeah, you know, I think I've said I've never played Fate of Atlantis. I have sampled the Last Crusade graphic adventure here. I haven't played a lot of it. But I will say, it's so dry compared to what LucasArts usually does. It is like straight up on the movie. And that's interesting to me. Okay. Continuing on, we're going to do Quest for Tires. Yeah. I'm probably going to play Last Crusade. I got to Paris. I got to the library. Ooh, this is fuzzy. What's going on here? Okay, this time I have learned. We'll do skill 1. Now we'll figure out how to play this game. Should I have 3D glasses on? Like, what's going on? Nothing's happening. I kind of remember this being planar, like you could go up and down. Okay, okay. Okay. Oh, this was exciting back in 1980. Okay, so I might have played the sequel to this. Help, help. All right, so I have previously talked about how Sierra was partially responsible for flooding the market with crap in the immediate wait, what just jump sucker? Okay. Nope. That's okay. Should I keep going? Should I try it again? I do not understand what just happened. I seem to be staying afloat when I feel like I should be sinking, and I... Alright, you know what? As far as an early 80s action game goes on the PC, I'm not going to be mad at that one. It has aged like French fries that have been delivered to your house, though. Played Fate of Atlantis on Amiga, no voice acting. I was playing with the Amiga game selector earlier today. Yeah. The ports that the Amiga would receive. I don't know. How were the... Oops, sorry, that's Callahan's. Very good adventure game, by the way. DOS version is weird as a result. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How was LucasArts' Amiga ports in general? Because we've kind of covered where Sierra was meh. I played a little bit of Leisure Suit Larry 3 to see if they could keep up with the Roland MT32 sound. Better than DOS, worse than like AdLib MT32. But an interesting thing is that they did a lot of atmospheric sound effects that are absent in any DOS version. So there's something that's better about the Amiga version and some stuff that's not. They also did interesting kind of soundscapes for Quest for Glory. Roughly the same. All right. Let's continue with Mickey's Space Adventure. Oh, I already have Mean Streets installed. I am debating this one. I mentioned this to you. You had never heard of it. This is the very first Tex Murphy game. Way before they did the FMV games. In fact, Tex Murphy Overseer was a remake of this. Better or worse than the DOS counterparts. However... Okay, DOSBox or Scum VM? I tend to think Scum VM runs a little better. Can speak for Buck Rogers. Are you talking about the SSI RPG? Yep, you are. Sounds are so much better on Amiga. I'll take a look because that's one my best friend, like, he would get an RPG and he would play it 5 or 6 times. It was kind of baffling to me. And I never finished that game once because I didn't own it. Oh! Nope. NO. Alright. I do not have a previously saved game. Mickey and Pluto are walking down a country road, which is surrounded by green hills. This looks like it was ported from the Apple. Which it might have been. Suddenly, Mickey and Pluto see a flash of blinding light over the hill to the north. Okay, so this is kind of an interactive fiction from what it looks like. Just a pick list rather than a text parser. Country road leads east and west through some low hills. Go. to the hills, young man. Mickey is already in the hills. Mickey and Pluto are walking on a country road that heads east and west through foothills and oak trees. Keep going east. We're not playing for keeps here. We're just seeing what this is. Mickey and Pluto are on a country road that seems to go on and on forever through the hills. They decide not to go further east. Oh, I do want to say something. I saw the name Dave Murray on Sierra Championship Boxing. I thought they started at Sierra when they made Manhunter in the late 80s, but they must have been briefly at Sierra and then gone elsewhere to make The Ancient Art of War, maybe? I don't know. Gotta get used to the shit sounds for the sequel. Manhunter is an interesting game. It is frustrating and it's very compelling. It's a very unique post-apocalyptic setting, and not only is it another attempt at a parserless version of Sierra's King's Quest AGI engine, there's almost no text on screen either. So you have to, like, all the story is almost dialectic. So it's very interesting. Not completely successful in my opinion, but we're gonna play it. Oh, we are gonna play it hard. A lot of arcade sequences. A lot of very frustrating arcade sequences. Go to the road. Which direction? Okay. I guess, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I missed the description, and there's no going back to the description. Try to force myself through the DOS version of Countdown to Doomsday. Yeah. So I want to import my team to the sequel. Yeah. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Try going there instead. Wow. Hold on a second. Are you sassing me, kids game? Look west. Try going there instead. That feels... All right, go north. Mickey and Pluto. No, Pluto. No. See an unusually large oak tree. I'm guessing this is like a very basic choose your own adventure. Mickey is lying on a limb in a huge oak tree. He spies a bird nest on the limb, and kids messing with creatures' natural habitats is fun and rewarding. Piece of glowing crystal in the nest. That looks like a feather to me, but okay. The crystal piece looks like it has been cut to a precise shape. I'm going to assume you guys are okay with me moving on here. This is... Install update. Oh, come on. Because if I were 8 years old, that would probably be pretty cool. And I'm not. Sooner or later I will finish it though, because I want to play the sequel. Yeah, my buddy Kasem, I think the only RPGs he flipped more than that were Dragon Wars and Wasteland. He must have played Wasteland at least a dozen times. I do not understand his brain. I respect it, but I don't understand it. And you could flip Wasteland, as I recall. You could just start over with the same characters. Huh. That's always interesting when stuff like that happens. If the Amiga were more of a... no, actually, I was going to say that if it were more popular, you'd probably see people completing projects like they do for Windows games and DOS games, but Amiga was real demo scene stuff. You'd figure some people would be really on that. Okay, so Donald Duck's Playground I actually owned. I played the crap out of it. It's fun for kids. Yep, there it is. Not going to listen to that. And I believe it used a deeply altered version of the King's Quest AGI engine once again, although does not seem to support diagonals, or yeah, it doesn't. Never got their hands, blah blah blah. That kind of crazy that makes games from scratch for fun. Yeah, like I don't have that genetic in me. I do love to mess with emulation setups. I can't build things like that. That takes a certain kind of OCD that's just not in my bones. I respect it because I get to play with the results. Donald Duck's Playground, basically you work jobs and you buy excessively cheap, okay, playground goods, and then you switch to your nephews in order to build a playground. Yes, press the button to start work. Well, what is the button? Shift, Alt, Tab, Tilde, Backspace, A. Oh, okay. Something just happened. Catch and release, baby. Uh-oh. This is going fast. Which, okay. X. X is your action button. It is using that classic Sierra thing where you have to press the same direction twice to stop. So it's basically just a collection of little arcade games. Oh man, I selected 4 minutes. This isn't bad, but it's not 4 minutes of fun, I think. Oop, okay. I've earned 16 cents. Donald seems to be exploited farm labor. What are you trying to teach us, Sierra? Something about Southern California's economy, I suppose. Sorry, I'm going to be detached from the chat for a few minutes here. Actually, can I just... yeah, great. Can I just take off early? This is clearly gig economy stuff. I should be able to make my own hours. I would like to leave this job. 2.5 minutes, I can... I think I've slipped into being mesmerized by this game a tiny bit. It's good scene work. I like the forest there and the city there. I know Sierra had a contentious working relationship with Disney. Disney were, understandably, I suppose, control freaks. Come on. I'm just thinking about Buck Rogers because I would have thought that would have been out around the time ad-lib was a thing, but I guess not. One minute and 20 seconds. Oh, you played this with a joystick? I think I must have. I had one of those little rough gray plastic thumb-busting... Not even sure if it was an analog joystick. That kind of plastic that slowly turned yellow like your Super Nintendo. Yep. Okay. Less than 1 minute remaining. I actually do want to play a minute or two in the airport job because now that I'm working in rail, occasionally station designations come up in my job, and who knows, maybe this would actually have a legitimate educational use for me. It is one of those jobs where they show you a chart and expect you to memorize like every single station within a couple of days. But since we're union, not much they can do if we don't. I made $1.24. I will go back to my home country and live like a king. Oh, yeah. I forgot they actually did a little counting thing. I wonder if this actually was educationally beneficial for me as a kid. Eh. I mean, there's so much edutainment out there that sucks, and it's nice to have something that you can look at that's genuine and not just a horrible cash grab. All right, let's catch up with you. Color's a bit different. Sound quality seems about the same. Play Let's see how lazy I've been. Let me see how long since I played Buck Rogers. Looks like about 52 months. Yeah, sometimes I look at something and I'm like, what? Am I that much older? All right, I can give you kids a rocking horse. I could afford almost everything. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll take one of these. Oh, okay. It's a crazy policy there, Minnie. One purchase at a time. Oh, you gotta manually pay for your purchase. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Oh, you gotta make your own change. Yes, I recall now. Okay, so what I want to do is blah, 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 70 cents. But toing. Sorry, I will move on. Oh, not $20, sorry. I was wondering why they had a 20-cent thing there. Duh. Why am I doing this? I just wanted to show the game. Okay. I do need a little help committing to just playing games for leisure at this point. I mean, I do, but I'm very scattered about it. So I'm like, I'm going to work on the 3DO core on the FPGA. Okay. I'm just going to do 2 minutes on the airport and then we'll be done with this game. And I think that's it. I think we're moving on to fish after this. And so, yeah, I need to redevelop the attention span of sitting down and going, I'm just going to play this game start to finish. That plane looks like it has a smile. No memory wants 671, have 553. We're done. Cool. The game decided for us. All right, so I'm going to give you the choice because interactive fiction was what you wanted to do. Fish, I don't know much about this game, but I started up the DOS version and the Amiga version. They are somewhat different. DOS is higher resolution, big screen pictures, high-res text. However, the Amiga version, smaller graphic window, but tiled. So it actually lets you have your inventory, items in the room, and even a map on screen. So up to you. If you wish it to look better, but more simple, it's this. A little bit more of an eyesore, but more stuff on the screen. Amiga. Neither one has any sound. Doesn't matter. Okay, so these are the documents that came with Fish. Here's the manual with all the background. Here's your fish identification chart, including cat warning, don't let this near your fish. How to look after your fish, which I don't think this has anything to do with the game. The solution book, and the travel card, little tchotchke that came with the game. It has a built-in hint system where I think you have to type these codes, which is interesting. And, oops, cancel that. We're done with that. I will read you the description because this is most of what I know about the game. Interdimensional espionage. Interdimensional because you can warp into the body of a living thing in this or any other dimension. Espionage because there are good guys and bad, and you're a good one, with years under your belt and a multitude of successful missions behind your dark glasses. The payoff? You get a vacation, and the ultimate vacation in this business is to become a goldfish. Yes, a goldfish. Hey, it's cushy. You swim a little, eat a little, live in a castle, so what if it's plastic? Just as you were getting into the vacation mode, umbrella drink and all, the tide turns. The most dangerous group of interdimensional anarchists surface, the 7 deadly Finns. This septic septet will stop at nothing to destroy all forms of life as we know it, and wouldn't you know it, you're drafted to stop them. Alright, we'll do DOS, because we like easier on the eyes. It claims I played it for 2 hours, and that's just not true. All right, Fish original DOS release, Fish high-res interpreter. Actually, you know what? I forgot there were options. Let's see if the DOS probably isn't going to give us the fancy tiles that the Amiga had. Oh, hey. Interesting. There's a mouse interface, and there are some of the, I want to say, ostensibly Amiga-like touches here. Okay, well done, Agent 10, says Sir Playfair Panchax, head of Mission HQ. We knew you'd stop the 7 deadly Finns. Good show. It's a shame they got away again, but now I suggest you take a vacation. You've earned it, old boy. Good choice going with the slightly British accent. You agreed with him. The last few months had been a real chore. Being an interdimensional espionage operative isn't a bad life apart from the pain of warping and the inconvenience of host-parasite relationships. I wonder if reading the manual first would have been a benefit to understanding this. I mean, I get it, but you need a quick spot of R&R every now and then just to stay sane. So you went for the big one, warping into a goldfish for a whole month. The peace, the tranquility, and you're still on the payroll. Someone's coming. Good. Must be time for food. Splatto! A hand as big as a bus drops something hard right on your head. Understandably dazed, you flip over and, through the swirl of ant eggs, spot what hit you. A tacky plastic castle. It looks like a rush job. Sir Playfair must be in trouble. I'm slipping into a bit of a Sam from Sam and Max voice here. And you thought you were on vacation. Setting goldfish bowl. Swimming upside down is good fun, but difficult even for someone as highly trained as yourself. It looks like the pondweed is dangling from the gravel. Oh, hey! Dangling from the gravel above your head, and the ant eggs. Wow! Upside down they look so much like, well, like exactly the same as if you were the right way up, actually. Anyway. There's no need to get carried away. Sir Playfair has a message for you in the castle, if you're not mistaken, and he hates agents who are late. So, okay, brief verbose. We are on verbose. Nice. Okay. Printer. Oh, that's just the... No, I don't want to stop that. Cancel. Am I sure of what? I think I restarted. All right. Enter the castle. Make suggestions by all means. You can't do that while you're upside down. Turn over. The ant eggs have stopped swirling around and are now floating on the surface. Gravel fills the bottom of the bowl, and some tasty-looking pondweed you've been wanting to nibble for days is lying on it. You get a nasty feeling in your swim bladder about the castle, probably because Sir Playfair has so rudely interrupted your vacation. Look at the castle. Colors are sprayed on this tacky castle in a random fashion, as if it had been visited by a medieval graffiti artist with a belly full of mead and a nasty case of clinical depression. A large gateway leads inside. So far, not mad at the pros. Eat the pondweed. Delicious. There's plenty more. Look at those eggs. It's a pity that ant eggs are all you've had to eat for the past week. Otherwise, they may look appetizing. Get the eggs. You pick up the eggs in your mouth and can't help but eat them. Delicious. My lunch and dinner today is some spaghetti I made, mixed in some shredded cheddar cheese too. Yeah, I had a hot dog. Kept it basic. It was a pizza and beer weekend. So smoothies, light lunch. I need to see all that text that just zoomed by. That's not good. What are faster graphics? Okay, we are going to go with the other version because that shows everything. So let's try that again. Yep, smoothie for breakfast. Okay, high res. Seems, yeah, the high res seems very bare bones, but okay. Everything's on the screen. Nothing overlaps anything. Eat the pondweed. Okay. Enter. Wait, hold on a second. Get the gravel. You fill your mouth with it. Inside, the castle is exactly what you expected. Tacky and featureless with ant eggs near the top and gravel at the bottom. To anyone else, the colors sprayed randomly on the wall would just be colors sprayed randomly on the wall. To a daring interdimensional espionage operative like yourself, however, they are obviously used to focused communications across the dimensions. The only exit is out. Back to the goldfish bowl. Testing! Hello, can you hear me? Agent 10? You groan as Sir Playfair Panchax's voice rattles around your brain. I'm sorry about this, old chap, he continues. I wouldn't disrupt your vacation unless it was necessary, he coughs. It's bad news, I'm afraid. The 7 deadly fins again. Sabotage this time on a planet full of fish. Beats me why they should pick on fish, but fish it is. They've stolen something important, a focus wheel, I think, and dismantled it. We've got a fix on most places they've visited recently. You'll have to scout around and find the wheel. Your interdimensional warps will be ready in a few milliseconds. The backroom boys have some tricks up their sleeves if you get into trouble. The castle jolts and 3 warps and a glass box appear as Sir Playfair signs off. Good luck and keep your eyes peeled. Panchax out. 3 warps and a glass box. Let's start with the glass box. The glass box shows all the hallmarks of a rush assembly. There are loads of electrical components in it and yards of wiring. You can only hope the backroom boys didn't economize on waterproofing. It is closed. Get the glass box. But a mere goldfish can't do that. Save. Sure, absolutely. Open the glass box. Let's see how cruel this game is. But a mere goldfish can't... Okay, fine, whatever. Look at those warps. The small warp is just big enough to swim through. The jagged warp looks important. It's jagged as well, but definitely important. The smooth warp looks like the trendiest of all the warps. It must lead somewhere pretty cool. Okay, this is about as far as I sampled. I went through the small warp. Excuse me. Shoot! That led to a recording studio. So I have not tried the jagged warp or the smooth warp. And I didn't go much past this point. So I'm going to go with the smooth warp unless... you want to try the jagged? Let's do it! Enter the jagged warp. Interdimensional travel hurts a lot. especially when you haven't done it for a while. You buck and roll through the journey, feeling very nauseous. Then, with a small popping noise, take over a body with the aid of a customized host-parasite interface. Your host has arms and legs. Looks like trouble. Back of a van. I'm going to take a deep breath before I hit more, because this could be one of several things. Not the best place to sleep. It's very cold and more than slightly damp, but still better than sleeping outside. The icy draft is coming from the front of the van to the south. An old blanket lies next to you, and some jeans have been thrown down on the floor. This is an adventure game. We get the jeans. We get the blankets. Am I naked? Look at self. You're a tall human being with arms and legs. Somewhat surprisingly, you don't have any fishy traits at all. Look, you weren't really expecting to spend the whole game as a fish, were you? Fish don't get to do anything exciting, so we cheated. Yeah, but am I naked? Do I need... Oh, let's just wear the jeans. You put on the jeans. Search the jeans. You find nothing of interest. Can I wear the blanket because it's supposed to be cold? Nope. The van. Not the... Okay. Same thing. Head south. Cab. The cab is Steve's province. Okay, so I guess I have memories that you're just going to piecemeal out to me. Like most roadies, his ability to create chaos out of order is legendary, and the rubbish all over the cab is definitely his work. Major slobs themselves, the band prefer to ride in the back in their own squalor. The passenger door has been jammed open, revealing a dark field. A note is close to hand. The note says, "Gone to get diesel, back before dawn. Steve." Well, if there's any monsters out there, I hope they're all happy. Rubbish. The rubbish covers the floor. I know what's going on here. You succeed in moving the rubbish. You find a torch. Thank you, Brits. You've got the torch. Might be fun seeing you try to solve Sherlock, the riddle of the crown jewels. Okay, was that one of the early CD-ROM video ones, or was that something else? I've only played The Case of the Serrated Knife, I think it's called. I haven't played a lot of Sherlock. Oh, it's a text adventure. Okay, so yeah, definitely haven't played it. Exit van. Which one? The back of van or the cab? Exit back of van. It's too dark to see. Where am I? I don't understand outside. Look, window? You can't see a window here. What kind of van is this? I've heard of windowless vans, but they still have a windshield. Do I have to figure out, like, long dormant British slang because I haven't lived near them for a number of decades I won't specify? Turn on. Do you understand if I say flashlight? No, you don't. Turn on torch. Batteries have just enough juice to give a faint glow from the torch. Please don't be timed. Please do not be timed. I don't need that. Can't see a van. I'm in a... Okay, this narrow east-west track is miles from civilization. There's a fire to the east and some music is coming from the same direction. Okay. The ruined abbey stands before you, imposing even in such a state of decay. Through the grand arch to the east, you hear some awful music and see the glow from a large fire. Westward leads back into the gloom. A poster is blowing about in the wind. You now have got the poster. Read the poster. The poster has a psychedelic picture of purple and green goldfish swimming around the 7 Deadly Fins logo. The fish form the words, "No rules, no war, no profit." Underneath is scrawled, "The Fins are in town. Place, just listen. Price, what can you afford? Anarchy, only if my mum says it's okay." Some of this humor is going to fall flat if I keep doing a continental accent. This isn't a continental accent, it's a Seamus accent. I beat a few text adventures recently, had some picks, some didn't, or some had picks, some didn't, on a temporary break from them for now. Yeah, IF for me is something like I can appreciate it, but I can't play too much of it, and if the text parser is too rudimentary, I'm out. Still quite a few left to go through on my list. Did you check out the XOIF selection that I linked you to? So we found a poster for this anarchist group which says no rules, no war, no profit. Okay, personally, I'm not a big fan of, the whole anarchist creed. I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but so far, no war, no profit. You're not convincing me these are villains just yet. Okay, let's enter the Abbey. Neglected over the centuries, only the shell of this abbey remains, and even that is in a poor state of repair. Rubble is everywhere, except for a gap cleared in the middle, in which a fire is burning. You can go north and south, although the obvious exit is west towards the Grand Arch. Some hippies are sitting around the fire in squalor, twanging out some terrible guitar. And and drinking heavily. Okay, there was just one word left. Doesn't look like any items. Talk to the hippies. Don't understand talk. Okay, wait. Time passes. Look, hippies. The hippies all have greasy hair and dirty denims. The bad news is that they are the band you're traveling with. The worst news is that they're blind drunk. They're sitting around the fire in squalor, twanging out some terrible guitar and drinking heavily. Why don't we turn off the torch just in case it is a... With a sigh of relief, the torch batteries take a well-earned rest. You can hear the cat. It's only 4 o'clock. She shouldn't be screaming. Why am I even wearing these? There's no sound. All right. Okay, so the designers of this game did not like hippies or anarchists or going outside, probably. I don't know. You might have. These are like noise canceling. They're very nice. But they are Bluetooth, and I do want to get like an actual studio setup started here. Okay, so I am not 100% sure what to do here. I don't think there is much to do if I can't talk. This game does not have a talk command. Speak with the hippies. Don't understand speak either. Okay. East, west, and an arch to the south. We've been heading... I think we headed east. Okay. Can't walk the walls. Was it north, south? Yeah, okay, north, south. My bad. Oops. It's too dark. North? Okay. Some hippies are... Why am I... Oh, because I went there. Turn on torch. Okay. And what's going on? As you... Ruined Nav? I don't know what that word is, actually. Wow. Good job. I am fairly literate, and I got stumped on something. As you survey this place, you wonder how such beauty could have been left to just rot. Depression hangs heavy on your heart, but not for long. Interdimensional espionage operatives aren't renowned for their sentimentality with regard to ruined naves, and besides, you have jobs to meet, people to be, and places to do. Southward from here, it's as dark as pitch, but northward, the fire is burning fiercely. A broken pew catches your attention. Okay, that's a hint. You're probably not crazy. That cat is a whiny baby. The broken pew is an old piece of church furniture, sadly discarded in these ungodly times. It's about 4 feet high, 3 feet wide, and could just about support your weight. Okay, 1987 in the UK was not an ungodly time. I mean, maybe. I lived in Northern Ireland, so that was an interesting time to live there. Okay, it called our attention to the pew, so are we going to do something with it? Sit on it. Pew's a bit wobbly, but you can reach a little higher now. Okay, that's a hint. I do love Paprika, our cat, but yeah, she's whiny and she drools. She was the runt of the litter. She looked like a giant rat when she was a baby. Tiny head, tiny tail, big freaking body. She grew into it a bit, but she has various defects. And I just got a nice set of organic percale cotton sheets because the summer is killing us and I sleep hot. And I stretch them over the bed and she gets up and walks across it, trailing more drool than I've ever seen her trail. And I wipe her mouth and like all 3 fingers are just shiny. What a cat. Okay, let's see, look up. Can't see that far from here. On the pew. Look again. Such beauty. Up. Can't go that way. You get off. Only northeast. Oh no, I wish I was playing the Amiga version with the map. Okay. Northeast, southeast, south, southwest, west. That's almost everything. Yeah, okay, so maybe I should start actually drawing out a map. That was a blank sheet of paper. I'm not an organized person, but sometimes that pays out. Okay, so hippies are here. I went south. And the exits north, east, southeast, south, southwest, and west. Now, drawing a map in a game like this, as you probably are well aware, is sometimes a crapshoot. I remember trying to map Zork, and there's like turnarounds and all sorts of crap. So, I'm going to go west. And again, you got anything? Any suggestions, you say so. It's really dark here, torch or no torch. What was that noise? It sounded pretty fierce. There it is again. It came from the east. No, the west. This could be dangerous. So you go back before whatever it is makes itself known. Okay, so we will just mark that as a GRU for now until we know what it is. Southwest. Off the beacon track. Oh, okay. Nope. Same thing. South. Okay. Southeast. Never mind. Does not want me going anywhere. So we're going to go back to the hippies. And we're going to head north. I need a longer line than that. You know what we need to do when Alex gets back? We need to play the Sega CD game Panic. That was so much fun. Ruined transept. Okay, I guess I just don't know my ancient abbey terminology. I think my parents did want me to go into the ministry at one point. They gave up on that early. The transept at right angles to the nave is in ruins. The fire to the south gives only light in here, allowing you to see an exit leading down. There's a crumbling archway here. Okay, so let's just try going north so it tells me. Oh, okay. Look at the exits. Okay, cool. I am going to compliment the text parser on this one. because it seems to be doing its job. Wait a minute. Oops. I'm drawing from the original square. I am screwing up here, folks. Okay. North, northeast, east, southwest, northwest. Ooh, up and down. In this economy? It'd be interesting to see how far you got in Galdrigan's domain. Galdrigan's domain? Dungeon crawler, more or less. Sometimes I appreciate a good dungeon crawler. I find some things age better than others, and dungeon crawlers, kind of hit and miss. I'm going back through Wizardry 1, because I had that as a kid, and it was always a little too hard for me. But generally, if I'm not familiar with like a plotless dungeon crawler, I have trouble getting into it. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I think all these exits are going to lead back outside, so we're going to go down. The antechamber connects the ruins to the catacombs. Upwards is the transept, and you can enter the catacombs through a doorway to the south. Okay, we're going to treat this as a slightly different map because catacombs always mean map. Trends. They do have some plot at the start, but not much after that. Typical. And it's all first person. Every place you can enter is big, no matter unless you make your own. In fact, the place you start is a damned maze. Yeah. Hey, David. We did the Sierra part of Sierra Saturday really quickly, due to bugs and just like it being for kids games and the 4-colored DOS nightmare. We have moved on to a comedy game called Fish, which had a very promisingly funny start. I'm just chilling out this week because no Alex, so you get to listen to me talking to myself, which is like witnessing somebody going slowly insane, in my opinion. I need to get my buddy Arthur on backup. He would do great with these because he's an actor. Actor, director, voice actor. Yeah, I think he'd have a lot of fun with these. He's the kind of person who'd be like, I don't know, and then I get him in here and I wouldn't be able to get him out. But do. Okay, so we are about to map some catacombs. I'm sorely tempted to go to the Amiga version and speed run it. Oops, I accidentally turned on the foot massager. All right, so doorway to the south. South we go. Even for interdimensional espionage operatives, the catacombs are a trifle iffy. Bearing in mind that you have no life insurance, do you still want to enter? When a game from the 80s is like, hey, you sure about this? The wind whistles around the antechamber as you tiptoe towards the catacombs. Expecting something to happen at any moment, you stay alert, watching and listening for anything untoward. But nothing does happen. What a letdown! Catacombs. The ceiling's collapse has disturbed the sepulchral debris. Now, I know that word. Debris in the end of this sacred place. In this sacred place, throwing it all over the floor. A doorway leads north to the antechamber. Maybe we should move the debris again. You succeed in moving the debris. You find a sarcophagus lid. These games don't tell you about all, or on a given screen, I mean. Yeah, it seems like this one is not telling us sometimes until I actually try to go a direction I can't. Move the lid. Moving the lid uncovers an exciting exit leading down. Wait a minute, I already went down and now I'm going down. Is this Silent Hill 2? Because I played Silent Hill 2, and let me tell you, didn't end well. Altar room. As you enter the room, you have a sudden vision. A girl dressed in white, a raised dagger, a scream. Altar room. This icy room has been sealed for a long time. Cold air slices through you, a chill foreshadow of your doom. Terrifying images flash into your mind. You feel that you have violated this place somehow. There's an ancient altar here. This is good news. Hideous faces carved from stone are positioned halfway along 3 of the 4 sides. Intriguingly, one side has a hole. See, also Silent Hill 2. Surrounded by Hold on! One side has a hole surrounded by custard stains where a gargoyle should be. There's a ceremonial cord on it. I had a bug crawling on me. Pull the cord. The room screeches to a halt. Wait a minute. And the guard rushes in. 50 pounds, please, he demands belligerently. Then he suddenly notices his surroundings and looks embarrassed. He departs with a red face. I'm not sure if I get the humor here, but okay. I'm going to go with it for now. You know what I should have done was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for IF. Jeez. Yeah, well, there was definitely a vision of a... okay, look at those stains. Like, what is going on here? Cursory glance at the stains persuades you that they are of no importance. Look, there's a sacrificial altar. This is clearly a sacrificial altar. I am in the basement of a basement. There was a comedy Monty Python character that came in and uttered a joke that I didn't understand. And you're telling me that custard stains around a hole are not important. Bullshit. Okay. Reach in the hole. I don't understand reach. Look, hole. The hole is a foot square. Something important has been removed from it. Can I get the cord? You have now got the ceremonial cord. Lie on altar. You lie down on the ancient altar. Started in a windowless van, ended on top of an ancient altar. Wait. Wait. Okay, nothing's going to happen here. Look, gargoyles. They're... Incorrect! There's also the Portopia serial murder case, which was a visual novel interactive fiction by Yuji Horii, the guy who made the Dragon Quest series. He recently remade it with AI, and it was universally hated. Okay. Calder, blah, 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 blah. Kiss the altar. Now you... Okay. All right, yes, because I came down here from the catacombs. Okay, so this isn't a maze, actually. I don't think... Yeah. Did look exits work? North down. Yes, it works. Okay. So that leads to the altar. And that was it. Catacombs are very basic. North. Oh, wait, there's north. Oh. So north and up are the same thing. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else that I can figure out here. Off the beat track, blah, 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 yeah. If we go south, we go back to where the hippies are. This screen is not updating. There we go. Look, exits. Oh. So I'm guessing if I try to go anywhere but west or east. Yeah, off the beaten track. Okay. Yep, track, dark field, next to the band's van. You can hear music to the east. I remember this was a west-east kind of joint. Nope. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm kind of stumped. Dark field. What's my inventory? Old blanket, torch, poster, ceremonial cord. You're wearing jeans, some socks, and a t-shirt. Got a shirt. Old and white, it keeps your chest warm. There's a built-in hint system, so I could look through the manual for that. Stop. I don't want to. Okay. Okay. Get the guitar. But the hippies won't let you. They're hippies. What are they going to do? You're obviously holding them in contempt and lamenting the fact that England is godless in the year 1987. Any ideas? Or should I look to the hint book? Or should I, let's see. Hit hippies. Okay, this worked. I am impressed by this text parser. The music stops and the hippies turn. The leader peers into the gloom, fondling the neck of his guitar. Then he spots you. Get him, boys, he shouts. Except it's British, so... Your cover blown, you try plan C2-A, colloquially known as running for it. However, C2A requires that the host be attired in combat gear, not ridiculously flared jeans. Your legs get tangled and you fall. Thought you'd get your hands on my grommet, didn't you? Says the leader standing over you. Well, think again. I guess he's kind of Scottish. The guitar hits you with a twang like the opening of a hard day's night, and your host passes out. The interface between you relaxes, warping you out through the dimensions, spinning and whirling and feeling sick. Then a goldfish approaches you at great speed. Whap! That hurt. Back in the castle. Inside the castle, exactly what you expected. Okay, we read this description. We are back in the plastic castle in the fishbowl we began the game in. A smooth warp, jagged warp. Okay. Lord of Arcana is a PSP game that's like old Monster Hunter games. I never played the Monster Hunter. Bug Fables. Okay, you're going off the beaten path a little bit with your games. You playing anything, David? Okay, so that was the wait a minute, do I still have... Your mouth is full of gravel. I still have the gravel in the fish body. You do not carry your inventory back into the fish bowl, so there's that. Played a bit of Fate of Atlantis. I barely remember anything from that. Yeah, we've been talking about Fate of Atlantis in here. I've been encouraged by our mutual colleague here to start with The Last Crusade, which I have played some of. And I noted it is kind of dry by LucasArts adventure standards, which they did occasionally. Like The Dig is a very serious game compared to most LucasArts. I never finished that one. It was a little difficult to figure out what you were supposed to do. All right, so we tried the jagged warp. I'm going to do the smooth warp unless anybody has another vote. Smooth. Easy to miss the hints, but that said, you can also just save scum it. Yeah, you can save scum a scum game, I know. All right, you swim through the smooth warp and leave the castle far behind. Traveling through the dimensions doesn't hurt so much this time, but entering the host-parasite interface is a bit tricky. It'll become easier with practice. Your host this time is another human. More hard work. Clearing. It's stopped raining here at the moment, but the clouds overhead show that it could start again any minute. If they decide to burst, the tree stump in the center of the clearing would probably fill up with water. Paths go... That is not a hint. Paths go south, southeast, and east. In all other directions, the undergrowth is too tangled to make any progress. Mickey Blowtorch, your ex-colleague, now a crazed warp junkie, is lounging around the stump looking suitably bemused. I'm interested in this game and I might actually play it, but I am going to read the manual before I get back into this because I think I'm missing some context. All right, we are dealing with something where south, southeast, and east. Okay. Mickey Blowtorch. Look at Mickey, who I probably can't talk to. Mickey Blowtorch was once Sir Playfair's best operative. Now a sad warp junkie, he lives alone and has no contact with Mission HQ. Try to fight the ticket taker on the Zeppelin. He's literally the most difficult opponent in the game. I do recall I trained on the boxing in the university gym, and I wasn't quite getting it. But I think I would try if I went back to it. Okay, so now I think we established talking doesn't work. Speaking. Ask Mickey. Please try rephrasing that. Okay, so is there some sort of communication parser? Let's look at the scene again. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We're in a clearing, but I don't have a sense of place. Also, we are several jumps ago with the graphic. Now, I did read some trivia on Moby Games, and they did start all their games on a certain platform and just created like virtual machines to run them on other platforms. So that may explain why this is acting a little weird. South. Dank forest. This part of the forest is horribly cold and damp, and brambles scratch and pull at you as you pass. To the north and south, the undergrowth clears a little. The forest continues freely in all other directions. I don't want to hear that I can go anywhere, actually. I don't want options. But maybe this is like the other one where it's kind of a false choice. Let's try to go west. Deeper forest. The forest gets deeper and darker here. The brambles seem to have a life of their own. They snatch at your clothes. Your efforts to get through are futile. You're forced back. Called it. Okay, so basically north and south. My windows are open and I smell. Please, please stop smoking outside my fucking apartment, everybody. I live a block from the beach. It's wonderful and it is terrible. All right. Going south, charred glade. This unpleasant scene is clear evidence that the hand of man has set foot here. The trees have been damaged by fire, and on closer inspection, you notice the entrance of a mine leading down. All right. Going down to the mine. I have a limited piece of paper, and I'm going to run out of map and room real quick. I think somebody was just smoking as they walked past. One of our neighbors didn't want to smoke in his own place, so he would come over and smoke right outside of ours. We talked. The mine. Experience tells you the mine is probably riddled with lurking nasties. Training tells you there's nothing to worry about. It's dark in there. Wait a minute. Experience tells me one thing and training... Okay. You haven't got a light. Anyway, who's looking for trouble? You return to the glade. Okay, gotta find a new light source. Go back. Bang! Something explodes in the distance. But as they say, out of sight, out of mind. So it's probably better not to worry about it. This game is giving me emotional cues all over the place that I don't think are going to be all that helpful. Wet forest. Don't you hate the rain? Why is it raining much harder in this bit of the forest than anywhere else? Cold, gray, and wet. Blurg. You can leave in any direction, but the undergrowth is too dense for you to see which way would be best. Exits. North, I'm going to guess everything is just a go back. Mickey arrives looking worried. Wait. Mickey's large but very distinguished proboscis sniffs the wind. That's nose, folks. Years of training are evident in the way the tip quivers and analyzes the various scents carried by the currents. That-a-way, he mutters, and speeds off into the forest. Direction, or do I just type follow Mickey? You don't understand follow. Good. Which way did Mickey go, you daft computer? Are you talking to yourself again? East? Gloomy forest. Hey, that worked. The constant rainfall here is incredibly depressing. So depressing, in fact, that if you weren't an alert interdimensional espionage operative with other things to think about, you'd get pretty miserable. The forest is impassable to the northeast, east, and southeast. Although to the north and south, it seems to clear a bit. I went east. I'm getting more maze here than I've gotten everywhere else. Okay. Impassable on the northeast, east, southeast. So all the right-hand directions. I will tentatively map out all the others. Go north. Cool glade. Drizzle is falling here, to be followed by sunny spells and a few showers in northern regions later in the day. The outlook for tomorrow is anybody's guess, but if you'd like to leave this place, you can go south, west, or southwest. Okay, south, west, and I'm not doing a great job. Okay, let's test this, because if this map makes sense, then going southwest will take us to the wet forest. It does. Let's see. Something's going on at the mine, he tells you helpfully before darting off to the southwest. See, I can work with this. And yes, southwest should be the mine. Mickey Blowtorch is here. Mickey trudges off towards the wet forest. That's where we just came from. Let's go back. Mickey looks deeply upset. Setting off towards the clearing, he starts muttering to himself, but you can't make any sense of what he's saying. And finally, I will follow him to the clearing because there's something adjacent to that I want to explore anyway. Something suspicious is going on, he says. Only person who'd interfere with the parrot would be someone after the mold. That means Sir Playfair has got someone else on the trail, and that means his words become indecipherable. Ooh, this is fascinating. Sounds like a bit of plot. And what parrot? I'm interested. This game has me vaguely interested. Good parser. The puzzles are stonewalling me so far, so all I'm left with is mapping. Dim forest. The dense foliage blocks out nearly all the daylight here, with just a few patches peeking through. There are ways through the forest in every direction, with the clearing to the west and a cool glade to the east. And we have been to those locations. Kill Mickey. Oh, oops, it's Mickey. Meh. Puzzles are supposed to do that. Yeah, sure. Another thing I'm respecting about this game right now is that this map does seem to be a sensible grid that isn't trying to just... Okay, where'd you go, Mickey? Let's... You know what? It's been a while since I saved. Mickey! Let's see, southwest, Charred Glade, north. Where you at, Mickey? Okay, let's see if we can go south. Dark forest. You're in the middle of a dark forest. The dense bracken grabs at your feet as you walk. Brambles hinder your progress except towards a glade to the west. Yeah, this makes sense. I'm digging it. They do. They do. And like I said, the time limit in these games is a blessing and a curse. Some of them are obnoxious, but some of them are just like, okay. I got to figure a few things out, go back through the chain. Sometimes it's enjoyable. I think the whole time loop style of game right now is usually a very good version of that. I'm not playing a lot of super modern games, but I have to say I played Deathloop, and it's good. It's so good if you haven't played Deathloop. Soggy leaves hang limply from the trees. Wait, which direction did I went east. I went east from... Okay, cool. Soggy leaves hang limply from the trees here, and thick clouds drift slowly overhead. A battered blacksmith's forge lies to the east, shrouded on all sides by the trees of the forest. I don't know. Am I in modern England? Like, what's going on? Yeah, Deathloop is a shooter, and I didn't know what to make of it when I first started playing it, but you basically have to play it. Each level is like part of a day, and you have, I don't know, 3 days to kill like 7 people. So the aspect of it where you play it over and over again is learning how to economize how you do it, how to unlock various things to make multiple kills possible, and generally just where you need to be at what point of day. Like some people, you have to do a boss fight one time and then kill them with a trap that lets you not be there later. Very good game, and I recommend it. Okay, outside the smithy. Also, it has occurred to me that leaving my windows open so I don't charbroil in my own office means that people are passing by going home from the beach and just hearing me read these descriptions, which must be kind of baffling. Soggy leaves hang limply from the trees here, and thick clouds drift slowly overhead. A battered blacksmith's... Oh, wait. Shot it also. Didn't I already... East? Okay, here we go. The smithy is dark and hot. The cherry red glow of the fire is proof that someone has been using it quite recently. Curiously, the building has no windows and there is only one exit, opposite a tool cupboard to the west. Some feathers are strewn about, almost enough to make a duvet. Okay. I appreciate that the palette shifted from outdoor to indoor the way it did. Like, this took some work. Like, this is a game that the people enjoyed making or took seriously. Get the feathers. You've now got the feathers. No windows. Open the cupboard. Okay, don't tell me what's in there. The cupboard contains some tongs, a crucible, and a hammer. Tongs, the crucible, and get the hammer. Okay, so crucible is like a receptacle of some sort, but easily withstand the heat of the fire. Yeah, well, what's it shaped like? Doesn't that kind of vary? Should we try making something? I don't think we have everything we need. We need something to create a blank. Let's give it a shot. Put the crucible in the fire. Crucible falls into the heart of the flames and disappears from sight. The fire is obviously deeper than you thought. Oh, good. Did I, dead man, walk in this? Get the crucible? Yeah. Throw feathers in fire. Feathers burn away. Yep, you can dead man walking yourself. Okay. Tell you what. Mickey. All right, I am back at the start, so let's go southeast, southeast, east. Okay, get the feathers, open the cupboard, get the tongs, get the hammer, and get the crucible. Look at the anvil. It didn't describe. I don't understand anvil. Okay. Look, fire. Fire is burning fiercely in the forge. The heat makes your face glow. All right, so I am unfortunately once again slightly. Oh wait, you know what? Look at self. You're a tall human being with arms and legs. Somewhat surprisingly, you don't have any fishy traits at all. Okay, so who am I? I want some context. I crave the context. Can I go? I'm on a 3x3 grid is what this map looks like. So can I leave that? No, you're forced back. Okay. Okay. I am again at a standstill. Do we have any ideas? A changed man, Mickey gets off the stump. He's muttering to himself. Words like kill, maim, and disfigure. Oh God, it's my morning commute on the train. I'm almost not joking. All in all, this is an interdimensional operative who is less than gruntled with life. You, screams Mickey. You're the one who destroyed my peace and quiet. I won't have it, I tell you. He slowly stands up and waves his fists at you. He slowly works himself into a rage. He slowly moves toward you. If you hadn't spent so much time worrying over the dreadful grammar, you might have seen him land the karate chop that broke your neck. Well, he is randomly volatile. I'm not going to disrespect that part, at least. I haven't been keeping track of where you've been, so no ideas here. Yeah, it was a simple 9x9 grid with a mine that was too dark to go into, and that forge. Those were the only points of interest besides the wandering Mickey. Okay, so tell you what. We'll do an attempt on the smooth warp. Oh, wait, no, the small warp. This is the one that I got into during a playtest. And it's a recording studio. Plush lounge. Lounge areas in recording studios are usually for one purpose only, and that's to lull musicians into a false sense of the value of time. They'll sit in the comfortable area drinking coffee and watching promo videos on the television here, all the while running up huge bills at the standard hourly rate. But they can afford it. Through a glass door to the north is an office. The only other exits are east and west. A waste bin is standing in the corner. Rod is loafing around, as tape ops are wont to do. Talk about an extinct job. An important-looking beetroot-faced producer enters the room behind you. You, he shouts charmingly. Make some coffee or you're fired! He strides out. Okay. Again, if the voice goes too high or anything like that, you guys let me know. Help me troubleshoot. Help me improve things. Okay, exits are east and west. It's a linear office layout, I guess. Okay, so I went west. I opened the recording studio. It warned me not to do that. I did it, and it blasted me back into the fishbowl. So, but one of the members of the cartel I'm trying to nab is in that recording studio. So that's the only person I've managed to find so far. Could offer vague hints if I ever play Zork 1. You did beat it. Okay. Respect. I I want to say I got at least halfway through it. I don't think it's a long game. Entrance hall. By the prominently displayed gold discs, this must be the entrance to an upmarket recording studio, possibly somewhere in London. There's a lounge to the west, and the exit to the street is east, though through a large wooden door. The producer's voice booms from the distance. Rod! What are you doing? I need a tape changing! That's what a London recording studio manager sounds like. Do not. I don't need notes. I do not need notes. Not on that. Let's see if we can go out to the street. You smash your nose against the door. You must open it before you can go that way. The door or the nose? The door, idiot. Large wooden door is now open. Oi! Where's my coffee? Bellows the producer from you-know-not-where. Busy street. It's night, dark, and yeah, I can tell it's dark from this picture. Excuse me. Cars are flashing past on this busy road with disturbing regularity. Disturbing because the host-parasite interface is in danger. You start to feel a bit odd and reach out for the door to support you. Your head is spinning and you're finding it hard to concentrate. Just before you lose consciousness, you fling the door open and fall back inside the studio. Slamming the door behind you, you take a few deep breaths to recover. Okay. Let's go back to the lounge and down the west corridor. This east-west hallway has a blue door to the north wall, which leads to the main studio. The light by the door is red, indicating that someone is playing at the moment. To the south is a locked door marked kitchen. All right, that's the hallway. All right, and we are going to a locked door. Oh, God. So if I'm going to do coffee, and I bet that's a puzzle. Inventory. Jeans and a shirt. Search the jeans. If I work here, I should have a key. The producer's menacing voice echoes ominously around the whole studio. If I haven't got my coffee in 5 minutes, there'll be trouble. The kitchen door. Open the kitchen door. Of course it's locked. Go west. This is as far as the studio goes. On a first date, anyway. I got that joke. This time. A wooden door with a switch by it is to the south, and the secondary control room door with a light by it is northward. The hallway runs back to the east. All right. Door to the south is north. Okay. With a light by it. We're going to go south. You smack. Thank you. Yes. You're going to make me open every door in this game. Wooden door, open wooden. Oh, use the switch. Always use the switch. Flip the switch. Please phrase as use object to verb another object. Flip the switch. I don't understand flip. Move the switch. The switch steadfastly refuses to be moved. You're British, so you might know toggle. No, you don't. Open the wooden door. The wooden door is now open. The producer storms into the room, his beetroot face twitching with rage. Where's my coffee? He screams, pointing at you. Why haven't you made it? You try to blurt out an excuse, but he just rants on. Rod makes coffee when he's asked. No questions! It's there in 5 minutes. He can have your job. You're fired. Now get out. He grabs you with his sweaty hand and leads you out onto the street. I never want to see you again, he shouts, slamming the wooden door. Door won't open and the host-parasite interface collapses, hurling you through the dimensions, slap-bang into a goldfish's body inside a tacky plastic castle. This looks familiar. Now, even with a guide, like, I don't know if you just sat there with the guide and played the whole game. If so, okay. Like, when I was a kid, I remember, putting a game like Wolfenstein on God mode. I stated my opinion of save states last time. You know, use them as much as not as much as possible, as much as necessary, and if they are increasingly necessary, use them increasingly. Whole game, yep, okay. You wanted to experience it. Okay, so I didn't fully explore that. It is almost 5 o'clock. We're going to go one more on the small warp in the recording studio. Let's see if it lets you repeat. You make some coffee or you're fired. Okay, cool. So it basically resets. Ooh, which means we probably did not Dead Man Walking the Forge. Probably could have left and it might have reset. Okay, open wooden door. But the door is already open. Okay, maybe it doesn't reset. You stride boldly into the store, bravely ignoring the dark, and promptly bang your shin against something hard and metallic, causing a terrible racket. Yelping with pain, you hop back into the corridor. Open, wait, what's the other one? Secondary control room door. Open control room door. Okay, and head north. This room is used to edit tracks so terrible that the bands who made them had to be sent down to the pub. Unfortunately, the bands will probably become very famous as a result of the changes, which is why it's usually better to be a musician than a tape operator. An important button is next to the door to the south. An important button, you say? There's a cassette player, a small cupboard, and an amplifier here. Oh, I forgot there's a cassette in the waste bin. Yeah, I found that on my first playthrough. Okay. Open the cupboard. Look in the cupboard. Head cleaner. Okay. Okay, I got fired again. Enter the small warp because I've got one more immediate idea, which is to open the office door. I think there's a word missing there somewhere. No. One thing you have to do does have a bit too much RNG, to be honest. If you're talking about the thief, I know about the thief. Yeah, there's one bot on every single stream. I'm surprised it took this long. An alternate guide clued me into how to mitigate some of the RNG a lot better, though it was still pretty bad. Yeah, the thief. The thief. You got to let him steal from you, and then you got to steal from him, and there's an item there, I believe. The deadly knife is a lot better at dealing with him than the sword. Okay, I didn't play that much. I had the sword. I'd never found a deadly knife. Wait a minute. You're making me think of something. What was it? Okay, it's gone. Glass door. Okay, open the glass door. Producer's voice. Rod, what are you doing? I need to... Coming, Rod. Or coming, shouts Rod. I'd better go, he says, rushing out. It's best not to upset him. Office. This is where the studio paperwork is done. It's also where the producer often complains bitterly that he does everything. In fact, he spends most of his time delegating responsibility, or, in ordinary language, bossing people around. The glass door leads back to the lounge. There's a desk and a filing cabinet here. Desk. The desk is incredibly untidy. Perhaps the cleaning woman should be sacked. Open the filing cabinet. It's locked. Okay. This time limit in this one is a tad bit tight, but at least you can jump back into it quickly. So the game still isn't alienating me. I'm still in. I'm not fully committed, but I'm in. Game uses less picks than I expected. It's hard to say if it's using all the picks because it seems to be a bit glitchy. Probably is. One pick for every screen. Yeah. This is 1987, so the fact that an IF has pictures at all is kind of impressive. Sorry, that's the alley right at that window where somebody tried breaking into our apartment on the 4th of July. So when I think I hear something, I take a look. There's still a lot to do. Imagine if the early Zork games were done with pics. Would be interesting. Absolutely. And I discussed last time that there are attempts to do fan-made Zork games in a more graphical setting. There's one done with the Neverwinter Nights engine that I tried, and there's a free one on Steam, and I think they gave it like a generic title. And it's interesting, but it is like clearly one of those homework type games where somebody with a very loose grasp on how to make a game made it. Better than the Neverwinter Nights game, but still pretty rough. I think I'm about done with this. I may play this on my own time. I don't know how engaging this has been, but like I said, it was kind of a throwaway day. Some of them. Okay, to be honest, I question some of the things you need to do in Arthur, the quest for Excalibur. Some of them aren't very honorable, laugh my ass off, but most are. Yeah, that's always the thing with adventure games. Like I was teasing Alex about all the crimes he committed in King's Quest 3. What was it? Okay, I'm having. Ooh, my short-term memory really sucks these days. There was an interactive fiction, and I have yet to find it, and that's why I downloaded XOIF, because you play a character who wakes up in like an alley or something. And you can almost immediately go into a shop and buy a gun and just murder like a homeless person. And I couldn't figure out how to get around it very well. I never got far in it, but I remember it would actually keep track of what kind of path you were on. So when I would end the game, it would say, today you have been on a very evil path. And I never figured out how to do anything besides very evil. But it was a fascinating approach to an IF game, and I always wanted to find out what it was and go back to it and try it again. Okay, I had a moment of sincere fright where I wasn't sure if I was wearing pants. Underwear, yes. Pants, maybe not. But yes, I'm wearing shorts. Okay. Okay, can't walk through walls. Oh, right, I'm here. Clean the desk. No such clean desk. Look again. Glass door leads back to lounge. Desk, filing cabinet. South, west. I know, he's gonna sack me here in a second. I think I dropped the head cleaner where I was fired last time, so maybe scenery doesn't reset, but the situation does, which is fascinating. Set player cupboard, amplifier. Yeah, no, I don't know where the key is here, so. All right. Well, like I said, this was in the Exodos collection. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. And the Exodos collection came with the clue book, so you never need to be truly stuck. Also, like I said, it has the onboard hint system, which I might start out with. The hint system. I never played Deja Vu 2 either. Okay, so are you guys talking about the Mac Venture series now? Think of Deja Vu, but you start with a gun, if I remember correctly. You know, it's weird because I never played most of the Mac Ventures. I played the Game Boy Color version of Deja Vu. I have Uninvited. Yeah. This is stupid, but I bought like the PlayStation Store versions of the Mac Ventures. I want to get the actual originals. And you know what? I never played Shadowgate either. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So before let me get through this. This is the hint system. I don't know if that shows up too well. It gives you the clue. I'm being attacked by a large cat. What can I do? And then I think what happens is you will copy this in 4-letter chunks, and the more of it you type into the game, the more of the hint it gives you. Kind of a cool system, a bit arduous. Let me see. Fish solution book. Many of the puzzles in Fish are time-based. Yeah, we noticed. It may be the case that you will work out how to solve the puzzles, but run out of time. Once solved, redo the puzzle using the quickest route, blah, blah, blah. Jagged warp, blah, blah, blah. The 3 warps. Oh, wait. There's a 4th warp, and that I guess comes in later. Maps. Yeah, so I'd seen everything there, pretty much. This is the jagged warp with the hippies at the ruined abbey. Small warp is the office. I've basically explored all of this. Interesting that it doesn't include the kitchen or the... Oh, wait, I didn't push the button in the secondary control room. Okay. Okay, why won't the hippies let me do anything? Why won't they let me carry the pew? Oh, you could carry the pew. Okay. I don't want to spoil too much because I do love trying to puzzle these out. Antechamber. Okay, section 2 is the Abbey. Section 3, Abbey. Oof, okay. Small areas, but very involved, I guess. Police station. Okay, a lot of shit here. Oh, wow. A step-by-step solution. Some background on the game itself. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to play that a little bit. See what happens. It's not the top IF I've ever played, but it's up there. Like, the parser is pretty good. The humor's decent. The scenario is creative. Yeah, why not? Why not play that? Shadowgate has so many ways to die. Keep playing on stream though, so we can see the suffering. Yeah, sure. Maybe I'll do a different day stream for this. Next week, Alex is back, and I want to resume our semi-chronological torture of our millennial friend when he gets back from vacation, because I don't think you can do vacation in Ohio. I had family there. It's a lovely place. Rolling hills, berry farms, all that stuff. Not exactly the garden spot of the gods, though. Yeah, sure. We'll keep doing this on stream. Why not? I'll figure out if I want to do this on a different day or... So what did we learn today? We learned that the Brits usually make really good or really bad games. Sometimes they make a game that's all right. We learned that apparently if you are a high-thrill interdimensional espionage agent, what you really want to do is be a goldfish for a month. That part is confusing me, but I'll roll with it. We learned that to really get ahead in life in adventure games, you got to be at least a bit of a bastard. Sometimes a complete bastard. We learned that you can steal a pew. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm shocked I never did that in real life. We didn't learn that music producers are bastards because I think we were already all very well aware of that. Actually, I'm going to tell you, like, minor trauma from the train workyard went into reading some of that section. Oh, by the way, yeah, okay, so that's something I was thinking of earlier when you were talking about Zork. Have you ever partaken of the universal hint system? Because that to me is like the perfect way. Unfortunately, it's a good website that's still out there. The problem with it is it hasn't been updated in a while, so it's mostly useful for older games. But what the universal hint system does is it will give you the solutions like a Sierra hint book. Like it'll say your problem, and then you can click to reveal vague hints. And as you click more of them, it gets more and more outright until it tells you, like, use the shovel with the nun. So if the game is on the UHS website, it's a great way to play an older game that you haven't beaten yet. Yes, it is much like a Sierra hint book. I am willing to bet that is where they got the inspiration from. Let me call it up real quick. See. Universal hint system. It is still up. Probably still hasn't been updated for... Oh, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, these aren't new, but they're not... Why would you need a UHS? Why would you need a hint file for Skyrim? This is all over the place. I'll show you the... Go back to scene here real quick. Broken Sword 5, Curse of Monkey Island. That's like, what, 2099? Oblivion, Skyrim, Grim Fandango. Like, we're all over the place here, folks. Let's see if Fish is here. Nope. Latex the game. I'm not going to click that. The Last Express. Okay. Talk about your time-sensitive games. Have you played The Last Express? It's by Jordan Mechner, Prince of Persia dude. So if we go to, for instance, okay, never mind. That's actually a map. I've never seen that on UHS. How can I translate the scroll? Did you find the scroll? It is in the chest in Tyler's compartment. Have you found something to translate the scroll for you? See if Tatiana will do it for you. She will give you the completed translation before Munich. Yeah. It was never like the most... I mean, this is clearly something that is actually written by editors, and so you're not going to get as much coverage as you would from like crowdsourced stuff like GameFAQs. But if your game's on here, obviously this is the way to go if you don't want to like get a big hunk of text and look and see answers to crap that you're like, I don't want that. All right. Guys, I am going to enjoy the last few hours of my weekend, and I'm going to thank you for joining me. I'm not sure how the IF played, but as always, your involvement is appreciated. Which way it goes is actually RNG. Cutthroats. I'm not familiar with Cutthroats or Wishbringer. You know what? Do I have? Yeah, okay, I have Exodus open, so I don't know. I don't know if you're talking about some Amiga insanity, but one more quick trip back to scene. Bloodnet. You said Cutthroats and Wish... You know what? Why do I always scroll through this? Okay, hold on a second. There's a Bluntman and Chronic DOS game. Oh, that's an AGS game. That is built on Sierra's SCI interpreter for sure. Yep, that text gives it away. Yeah, one of the interesting things about the ExoDOS collection is that if it was published on DOS, they will put it on this collection. So modern games do show up here. Hey, Rex Nebular and the Cosmic Genderbender. I wonder how that's aged. I remember enjoying it as a kid. So, yep. Retro City Rampage had a DOS release, so it is on ExoDOS. Now, cutthroats. I see cartels and cutthroats and Infocom's IF cutthroats. Wishbringer. There you go. Same cover as Loom. Oh. Yep, they are pure text. All right, guys. As always, thank you. You're wonderful audience. Have you been working out? You look good. I will drag Alex back in next week, and we will play the point-and-click version of Space Quest 1. 07. I don't know what that means, David. Maybe that's a farewell. I'm going to assume that, unless you correct me. I can do that. Let me see. Let's go random. Menzo Baranzan. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker wound up on DOS. Oof. That is a different game from the arcade one. Wait a minute. You know what? You know what I might subject myself to? I bet these are bad, but a good centerfold squares. Okay. Castlevania. Some of these might also be fan hacks. Blues Brothers. Yep, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Okay, so this was what? Capstone? Yep, Capstone. Capstone did a bunch of point and clicks. That's an actual Circle K. Based on licensed properties, including In Living Color's Homie D Clown. I am willing to bet, well, yeah, this is a rating of 3.0 based on 4 votes. I'm willing to bet that these are awful. And I'm going to subject myself to them because I always saw them in the game store and I never played one. Okay. And oh yes, Bing, Sex, Intrigue, and Scalpels. Which I don't think is a... Yeah. We'll get to that. All right, folks. I have dawdled enough. Like I said, I appreciate you. Great. End mode engage.